Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from Ukraine to share with you. We have reports today that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, this is him right here, he was actually making a speech today in Kiev. He has announced that there is a plan to end the war and it will be ready this year. So this is full confirmation that it looks like Ukraine cannot stay in this fight any further. I did a video yesterday of him speaking to a reporter at a European Council meeting in Brussels. And while he was there, he was telling this reporter that they had many dead and wounded on the battlefield and that they had to start moving towards a path to peace. Okay, so this is very big news. To me, this is basically an admission of defeat in this war. Obviously, they don't want to come out and say that, but there's been many reports coming out just over the last maybe month that especially when this Kharkiv operation started from the Russians, that Ukraine had announced that they had no more reserves. They were running out of troops. Okay, there's been multiple videos surfacing online as well of people being forced into conscription into the Ukrainian military because they just don't have the troops. Okay, they've completely run out of men to fight this war. Many of them have already died. They've been wiped out. And I think many people knew this from the very beginning that this was going to be the case at some point. But Russia's been playing the long game here, okay? And it looks like what we're seeing now, based on what Volodymyr Zelenskyy is reporting, that they're not going to be able to stay in this fight and they got to start moving towards peace. So we've got lots of things I want to talk about here. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Israel and Hezbollah because I believe it ties into this. But when he was making this statement that you see here in the video, he was actually holding a joint press conference with Slovenian President Natasa Pirc-Musar. So this was in Kiev on Friday. I'm not going to show the video footage with the sound just because they're speaking Ukrainian. They're not even speaking English, and there's no subtitles that I have at the moment. So I'll kind of just go over a report here with you. But before we do that, I want to show you guys the video that came out yesterday from Volodymyr Zelenskyy while he was at this European Council meeting in Brussels and what he was telling to the reporters. I want you all to see this just in case you haven't seen it yet. Maybe some of you watched my video yesterday where you saw that, but I think it's important to see this before we talk about the article that I'm going to show you. So let's go ahead and get right into this real quick, and then we'll talk about it after.
We have to find and to prepare this plan and to put this plan on the table during months. We don't have too much time because we have a lot of wounded and dead people on the battlefield and through civilians. That's why we don't want to have this war during years. So that's why we want to prepare this joint plan, put it on the table to the second peace summit. We have to find...
Okay, so as you can see there, he says we've got many dead and wounded on the battlefield, and this is why we have to move towards a path to peace. At the second peace summit, he's going to put together a plan to bring peace in Ukraine. And it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, this just came out of nowhere. This was literally just, like a week or two ago that we heard of a peace proposal coming from Russia, and it was immediately shot down. They were like, no. We've heard so many reports coming out from NATO saying that we need to give Ukraine everything that's necessary for them to destroy Russia and stop them from this attack inside of Ukraine. So we're just seeing a complete 180 out of nowhere, and it looks like Ukraine is just unwilling to admit that they've basically been defeated. That's what I'm seeing on the ground here. But you let me know what you think down below regarding this. But to me, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they can no longer fight this because they don't have the troops. That's exactly what Zelenskyy is saying, okay, that their troops have all been killed. And I did multiple reports yesterday too, talking about several commanders that have been removed from their post inside of Ukraine as well. And one of them got removed in the eastern side of Ukraine because he got a lot of soldiers killed, apparently. So obviously this war has not gone good for Ukraine, and they are completely out of men to continue fighting. So that's why it looks like they're going to be moving towards peace now. Just very crazy. So let me show you this here real quick as well. This is on Ukraine Forum. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said that the plan to end the war will be ready this year. He said this at a joint press conference with Slovenian President Natasa Pirc-Musar in Kiev on Friday, Ukraine Forum reports. Of course, Ukraine will decide, but if everything depended only on Ukraine, there would be no war. Unfortunately, the occupier, Russia and Putin, wanted war, and he does not want to end it so far. The diplomatic path chosen by Ukraine is our initiative because we are a victim in this war. It's crazy that all of a sudden now they want to go a diplomatic path. Why not a long time ago? Why not a year ago, a year and a half ago? And you know, if they were losing so many troops, let's say even 6 months ago, why was this not called upon much longer ago? Why is it barely happening now? It definitely seems interesting because the timing of what's going on with Israel right now, and Israel's about to go into all-out war with Hezbollah as well, and multiple groups throughout the Middle East, potentially even Iran. It looks like that's going to be the next big war that's about to break out, and maybe that's why we're seeing this war come to an end. Is maybe the U.S. has come out and told them we can't support this war anymore. We're going to have to start supporting Israel now. So that's kind of why I brought that up earlier, that we might talk a little bit about that. He called that the peace summit was recently held, and 3 detailed plans for energy, food security, and exchanges are currently being worked on. And I'm sure we will resolve these issues. At least we'll prepare a detailed plan. It will be ready in the near future. We will also work out other points of the peace formula and prepare a comprehensive plan that will be on the table before our partners. It is very important for us to show a plan to end the war that will be supported by a majority of the world. This is the diplomatic path we are working on. In addition, as I said, not everything depends on us, Zelenskyy said. He said that the production of drones, EW, and artillery is increasing in Ukraine because we must be strong on the battlefield. And it's not because someone wants to fight. We didn't want to from the very beginning, and now no one wants to. We just want peace. But we have to be strong, and that's why we develop our production to be strong. Because Russia understands nothing but strength and respects no one but only those who are strong. That is, these are 2 parallel things: to be strong on the battlefield and to develop a plan, a clear plan, and a detailed plan. And it will be ready this year, Zelenskyy said. First Peace Summit was held in the Swiss resort of Bergenstock on June 15th to the 16th. 3 points of Volodymyr Zelensky's peace formula were discussed at the summit: nuclear security, food security, and the humanitarian dimension, the exchange of prisoners, and the return of kidnapped Ukrainian children. A joint communique was signed after the summit and is open for accession. The results of the summit will be handed over to Russia. So probably right after we see this summit here coming up very soon, this second peace summit, that's probably soon after we will see the end of this war. There will be some compromises, I think, that Ukraine will have to make. I'm sure most likely they're going to have to give up these annexed regions that they've lost, because how are they going to take them back militarily if they don't have the troops to fight this war anymore? But this is just absolutely crazy news and a complete 180 from the way things have been recently. We've been seeing the West and Ukraine speak very strongly and saying, we're going to keep fighting till the very end. We're going to support Ukraine until the very end, and for as long as necessary. Now, all of a sudden, we don't have the troops to fight anymore, and we're just going to call for peace because that's what we need for our country. Absolutely crazy. And something that I was thinking about was, just a few months back, when this aid package in the U.S. Congress was held up for like 4 months almost. There was a lot of talk that Ukraine was like, we don't have any ammo anymore, we can't fight this war. So imagine they probably lost so many troops during that time just because they didn't even have the ammunition to fully fight this war. They were fighting with, basically both hands tied behind their back, because they were very short in ammunition and all these things. And at the same time, think about this as well. Russia's been building these fab, 1,500, 500, 2,000, 3,000, whatever bombs. These are very powerful glide bombs, and I've seen multiple videos on how devastating these bombs are. And imagine just one of these bombs had probably wiped out so many troops from Ukraine. So these glide bombs are definitely game-changing in a lot of ways, and I've talked a lot about them. So, we had reports even, too, that were coming out that Ukraine was just saying that they just could not defend from these attacks either. So clearly, Ukraine is in a tough spot now, and it looks like they're being forced to peace, especially considering if they want to try to join NATO and they want to be a part of the EU, they can't move towards surrender. And that's something that Russia came out saying as well, that the next proposal will not be a ceasefire, it will be an unconditional surrender of the Kyiv government. So maybe that's what they're realizing here, that they've got no choice but to move towards this now, especially considering that these new wars are breaking out. I think Israel will be prioritized over Ukraine. if this thing really does go down. And it looks like, based on what we've been reporting, the war is going to go down here very soon over there. So that's just kind of what I'm putting together. Let me know what you think down below. But that's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope y'all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.